Have you ever felt a strange unease in your interactions with certain people? Perhaps it's a gut feeling, a subtle discomfort that tells you something isn't quite right. The truth is, not everyone who smiles at you is truly on your side. Some harbor hidden resentments or dislikes, but lack the courage to voice them openly. Instead, they operate in shadows, masking their feelings behind politeness, compliments, or humor. But why should this matter to you? Because failing to recognize these hidden signs can drain your energy, erode your self-worth, and keep you tethered to relationships that harm rather than uplift. Imagine unknowingly investing your time and emotional energy in someone who secretly wishes for your downfall. Wouldn't it be better to know where you truly stand? In this video, we'll uncover 7 subtle yet telling signs that someone dislikes you but hides it well. Each sign offers a unique window into human behavior, and by the end, you'll have the tools to protect your peace of mind and foster healthier relationships. Stay with us, because the most profound realization awaits you in the final sign, a truth that could transform how you view your connections. Now, let's begin by exploring a behavior that's often dismissed as harmless fun, but carries a more sinister undertone when wielded against you. 1. They gossip about you behind your back. Few things sting as deeply as discovering that someone you trusted has been gossiping about you. Gossip is more than idle talk. It's a betrayal wrapped in the guise of casual conversation. When someone speaks about you behind your back, they undermine your reputation, erode trust, and create a chasm between what they present to your face and what they truly feel. But why do people gossip? Is it simply to pass time, or is there a deeper motive at play? Consider this. Gossip often serves as a tool for those who feel inadequate or insecure. By sharing your flaws or vulnerabilities with others, they elevate themselves, subtly reinforcing their superiority in the social hierarchy. In Stoicism, we learn to examine the motives behind actions. What do these betrayals reveal about the gossiper's inner turmoil? Reflect on a time when you confided in someone, only to hear your words echoed and twisted in other circles. Did you feel anger, sadness, or even shame? Such experiences can shake our faith in human connections, but they also present an opportunity for growth. A Stoic mind reminds us that the actions of others are beyond our control. What we can control is how we respond. Will you let gossip define your sense of self, or will you rise above it, anchored in your own principles? Moreover, think about the person spreading the rumors. Are they truly at peace? Gossip, after all, is often born of discontent. They may seek to distract themselves from their own struggles by focusing on yours. In the grand scheme of things, their words hold no power unless you grant it to them. As Marcus Aurelius once reflected, the opinion of others is their own affair. So, what should you do when faced with such betrayal? The Stoic approach encourages directness, but also wisdom. If you choose to confront the gossiper, do so not with anger, but with calm resolve. Ask them why they felt the need to speak about you. Often, such conversations lay bare the insecurities and misunderstandings that fueled their actions. But more importantly, use this as a moment to reaffirm your boundaries. Remember, gossip says more about the speaker than it ever could about the subject. It is a mirror reflecting their struggles, not yours. The key is to listen, learn, and let go, preserving your peace without compromising your values. Stay tuned, because in the next section, we'll explore another subtle sign that someone dislikes you, a behavior that can leave you feeling isolated and undervalued without you even realizing it. 2. They disappear when you need support. Nothing tests the strength of a relationship quite like a personal crisis. In moments of need, we naturally turn to those we trust, expecting comfort, guidance, or even just the quiet presence of someone who cares. But what does it say when, instead of support, you're met with silence, when those you counted on suddenly vanish, armed with excuses, or worse, complete indifference? This behavior, while painful, is a clear sign of someone's true investment in your well-being, or lack thereof. Have you ever reached out during a tough time only to be met with, "Sorry, I'm too busy," or "I'll check in later," and that later never comes? In Stoicism, we recognize such moments as opportunities for clarity. They force us to ask difficult questions. Who truly values us? Who is merely a companion for the good times, retreating at the first sign of adversity? Think back to your darkest hours. Who stood by your side, offering their time and presence even when it was inconvenient, and who found reasons to stay away? This distinction matters greatly. It is in adversity that genuine connections are forged, while superficial ties unravel. As Seneca observed, adversity is the trial of true friendship. Why then do some people withdraw when we need them most? Often it stems from discomfort. Supporting someone through hardship requires vulnerability and emotional energy, resources not everyone is willing to expend. Some fear being burdened or drawn into complexities they'd rather avoid. Others, as harsh as it sounds, simply don't care enough. But here's the Stoic truth. Their absence is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their priorities and limitations. Instead of dwelling on their absence, ask yourself, what have I gained from this realization? Perhaps it's the clarity to invest in relationships that reciprocate your care and effort. Perhaps it's the resilience to stand stronger, knowing that your inner strength is your most reliable ally. Now, this doesn't mean you should cut ties with anyone who falters in a moment of need. People are imperfect, and circumstances can genuinely prevent someone from being there. But repeated patterns of absence, especially when contrasted with their presence for others, signal a deeper issue. If someone consistently vanishes during your hard times, it's time to reassess their place in your life. The Stoic approach here is twofold. First, accept their behavior without resentment. It is what it is, and dwelling on it only prolongs your suffering. Second, take action based on this newfound understanding. Surround yourself with those who uplift and support you, who walk beside you not only in light, but also in shadow. In the next section, we'll uncover a behavior that may feel even more insidious: the subtle art of exclusion. When people exclude you from plans under the guise of oversight, it sends a message that can't be ignored. Let's explore what this means and how to confront it. 3. They subtly exclude you from plans. Few things sting more than realizing you've been left out. You scroll through social media, seeing photos of friends enjoying a dinner, a party, or a weekend getaway, events you weren't even aware of. When you bring it up, the responses are predictable. "Oh, it was a last-minute thing," or "We thought you were busy." But deep down, you know the truth. If they had wanted you there, you would have been invited. This kind of subtle exclusion is one of the clearest signs of hidden dislike. It's a passive-aggressive way of pushing someone out without the confrontation of saying, "I don't want you here." Instead, they rely on omission, hoping you'll fade away quietly. But why should you? Stoicism teaches us to confront reality head-on. Is it not better to face the truth, however uncomfortable, than to live in a web of polite deception? Let's reflect. Have you ever noticed a pattern where you're consistently forgotten or left out? If so, how did you respond? Did you accept their excuses, convincing yourself it was unintentional, or did you call them out? Many of us choose the path of least resistance, hoping things will change on their own. But Stoic wisdom reminds us, change often requires deliberate action. When someone excludes you, it's not just an oversight, it's a choice, and choices reveal priorities. While you may value the relationship, they may not share the same sentiment. A Stoic perspective encourages us to detach from such one-sided connections. Why chase after inclusion when you can focus on building bonds with those who genuinely seek your presence? However, confrontation can be powerful. If you feel excluded, speak up, not with anger, but with calm clarity. Ask why you weren't included and observe their response. It may reveal their true feelings or spark a necessary conversation about the state of your relationship. Either way, you gain insight and, more importantly, reclaim control over your narrative. Now, let's take a moment to engage. Have you ever been subtly excluded? Share your thoughts in the comments. How did you handle it? Your experiences could help others navigate similar challenges. And if you're finding value in this exploration of Stoicism and relationships, consider giving this video a like to show your support. In the next part, we'll discuss another behavior that's often disguised as busyness, but speaks volumes about someone's true priorities. Stay with us as we uncover how selective availability can be a powerful indicator of hidden dislike. 4. They're busy only when it comes to you. The refrain of "I'm too busy" is something we've all heard. It's understandable, even relatable, after all. Who among us hasn't felt overwhelmed by the demands of daily life? But there's a subtle difference between genuine busyness and selective busyness. Have you ever noticed someone who always seems to have time for others, but never for you? It's not a matter of schedule, it's a matter of priority. This kind of selective availability is a quiet but powerful signal of where you stand in someone's life. They're not too busy for life's obligations, they're just too busy for you. And while it's easy to make excuses for them, telling yourself they're simply swamped with work or family, it's crucial to look at the larger pattern. Stoicism invites us to observe life with a clear and rational mind. What does it reveal when someone repeatedly has time for others but never for your friendship or company? Let's dig deeper. Think of the last few times you reached out to this person. How often did they turn you down with a polite excuse, only for you to later find out they were out with others? How many maybe next times have you accumulated, each one pushing you further down their list of priorities? This isn't about one-off incidents. It's about consistent behavior that tells you everything you need to know. The Stoic perspective asks us to confront these uncomfortable truths without emotional reactivity. It's not about feeling slighted or bitter, but about understanding that their actions reveal their priorities. And here's the critical question: why invest your time and energy in someone who clearly doesn't reciprocate? Life is fleeting and our time is limited. Shouldn't we focus on nurturing relationships that uplift and value us? Of course, it's natural to wonder, why would someone do this? The answer often lies in their perception of your relationship. They may see you as someone they can turn to when convenient, but not someone they actively prioritize. Perhaps they don't dislike you outright, but their actions reveal a lack of deep connection or commitment. In Stoic terms, it's essential to recognize that their behavior is beyond your control. What you can control, however, is your response. Instead of chasing after someone who consistently puts you last, consider redirecting your energy. Embrace relationships where the effort is mutual and time is willingly shared. You deserve connections that make you feel valued, not like an afterthought. But what should you do if you're tired of being brushed off? Confrontation can be uncomfortable, but it often clarifies where you stand. Ask them directly. I've noticed you're often busy when I suggest meeting up, but you seem to have time for others. Is everything okay? This question is non-confrontational yet direct, giving them a chance to explain or reveal the truth you've already suspected. Now let's reflect together. Have you experienced selective busyness in your relationships? Share your thoughts in the comments. How did you handle it? And what lessons did you learn? And if this discussion resonates with you, show your support by liking this video. Every interaction helps us spread these Stoic insights to others navigating similar challenges. In the next section, we'll delve into a more tangible but equally telling sign of hidden dislike: the avoidance of physical contact. What does it mean when someone recoils from even the smallest touch? Let's explore this behavior and its implications. 5. They avoid physical contact, like the plague. Physical contact is one of the most fundamental forms of human connection. A handshake, a pat on the back, or even sitting close to someone all convey warmth, trust, and a sense of camaraderie. But what happens when someone consistently avoids these small gestures with you, when they stiffen at your touch or deliberately keep their distance? This avoidance is more than just a personal quirk. It's a deliberate signal. Physical touch, even in its most casual form, builds a bridge between people. When someone avoids it, they're communicating discomfort or a lack of closeness. Stoicism teaches us to observe actions over words. If someone's body language consistently sets up barriers, what are they truly telling you? Have you ever extended a hand for a friendly shake, only to feel the other person withdraw slightly? Or perhaps you've noticed they hug others warmly, but offer you only a distant nod. Such behaviors can leave you feeling isolated, even if they're not accompanied by overt hostility. The absence of touch speaks volumes, often louder than words. But why does physical contact matter so much? On a deeper level, touch reassures us of our place in someone's life. It signals acceptance and comfort. Avoidance, then, creates a physical and emotional distance, leaving you wondering, what have I done wrong? In truth, their reaction often has little to do with you personally and more to do with their own feelings of discomfort or detachment. Let's consider another possibility. Perhaps they're not generally averse to touch, but selectively avoid it with you. This is where the signal becomes impossible to ignore. They may not want to offend you outright, so they send their message through actions. And once again, Stoicism guides us to see this behavior as an external reality. We cannot change their discomfort, but we can choose how to respond. Should you address this directly? In many cases, yes. A calm and honest conversation can shed light on their feelings and clarify misunderstandings. For instance, you might say, "I've noticed you tend to avoid physical contact with me, and I'm curious if there's a reason for that." This approach avoids confrontation while inviting open dialogue. But here's an important Stoic insight. Not all relationships are meant to be close. Some people will always keep others at arm's length, whether due to personality, past experiences, or simple preference. And that's okay. The key is to recognize when this distance is a sign of incompatibility rather than a temporary hurdle. Before we move on, let's hear from you. Have you ever felt someone's avoidance of physical contact, and how did it affect your perception of the relationship? Drop your experiences in the comments, and don't forget to like this video if you found these insights helpful so far. Next, we'll explore a behavior that's even more insidious because it hides behind a facade of kindness. What happens when compliments sting instead of uplift? Let's uncover the truth behind backhanded compliments and their hidden impact. 6. They give compliments that sting like insults. Compliments are meant to uplift, to acknowledge someone's strengths or achievements. Yet, there exists a peculiar type of praise that leaves you questioning yourself rather than feeling encouraged. These are backhanded compliments, remarks that on the surface seem kind but carry a subtle sting. They sound like, "You're actually pretty smart for someone who didn't go to college," or "You're looking great today, finally getting some rest." Have you ever paused after receiving such a compliment, wondering if it was a veiled insult? This is not by accident. These statements are often carefully worded to keep you off balance, to make you question your abilities or self-worth, while the speaker maintains an air of innocence. In Stoicism, we're taught to value what is true and dismiss what is false. But what happens when truth and falsehood are wrapped in the same sentence? Consider why someone would deliver such a compliment. Often, it stems from their own insecurities. By subtly undermining you, they attempt to assert their superiority without engaging in open conflict. These individuals fear direct confrontation or envy your strengths. Their words are a means of leveling the playing field, ensuring you don't climb too high in their eyes. Yet Stoicism reminds us that the opinions of others, whether openly critical or slyly masked, hold no real power over our internal state, unless we allow them to. As Epictetus wrote, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So, how should we respond to these veiled criticisms? First, recognize the compliment for what it truly is: a reflection of the speaker's inner conflict, not your worth. Once you see their words as a mirror of their insecurities, the sting lessens. You no longer feel the need to internalize their remarks or let them define you. Second, don't be afraid to call it out. Stoicism doesn't mean passive acceptance. It encourages calm but assertive action. Respond with curiosity, such as, "Thanks for the compliment, but what did you mean by that last part?" This forces them to confront the hidden jab in their words, often leaving them uncomfortable or backpedaling. It's not about starting a conflict, but about asserting your boundaries and demanding clarity. Moreover, consider the broader impact of such compliments on your mental state. Repeated exposure to backhanded praise can subtly chip away at your confidence, making you doubt your own accomplishments. It's essential to protect your inner peace, just as a Stoic guards their mind against the turbulence of external events. Surround yourself with those who genuinely celebrate your victories without reservation. But what if these remarks come from someone close, a friend, a colleague, or even a family member? Should you tolerate them for the sake of maintaining harmony? The Stoic answer is clear. Harmony built on false pretenses is fragile and unworthy of pursuit. True relationships thrive on mutual respect and honesty. If their compliments consistently leave you feeling worse, it's time to address the issue, or if necessary, distance yourself. Have you ever received a compliment that left you more confused than encouraged? Share your experiences in the comments. Your stories might help others recognize and navigate similar situations. And if these reflections resonate with you, give this video a like. Every interaction helps spread the wisdom of Stoicism, fostering a community of thoughtful and resilient individuals. Next, we'll explore another insidious behavior: the act of joking about your flaws. While humor is often seen as harmless, it can be wielded as a weapon to erode your confidence. Let's dive into this in the following section. 7. They're always joking about your flaws. Laughter is a universal language, a way to connect, lighten the mood, and share joy. But not all humor is created equal. There's a fine line between playful teasing and targeted jokes designed to highlight your flaws. Have you ever had someone constantly joke about your quirks, your mistakes, or even your physical appearance? They might say, "I'm just kidding," but over time, the laughter starts to feel hollow, more like an attack in disguise. Stoicism teaches us to be vigilant against actions that harm our inner peace. Humor, when weaponized, can be as damaging as any overt criticism. A person who consistently jokes at your expense is testing boundaries, probing to see how much you'll tolerate under the guise of jest. But here's the deeper question: why would someone feel the need to do this? Often, these individuals derive a sense of superiority from making others the butt of their jokes. It's a subtle assertion of dominance, a way to keep you in check while maintaining plausible deniability. "It's just a joke," they'll say, placing the blame on you for being too sensitive if you push back. But Stoicism reminds us, sensitivity to disrespect is not weakness, it's a recognition of our own worth. Let's reflect. How many times have you laughed along, not because the joke was funny, but because it felt easier than confronting the situation? Each time you do, you tacitly permit the behavior to continue. The Stoic path, however, is one of courage and self-respect. It's about standing firm in your values and addressing harm when it arises. When faced with such jokes, consider responding calmly but firmly. You might say, "I enjoy humor, but I'd appreciate it if we avoided jokes about specific topic." This sets a clear boundary without escalating the situation. If they respect you, they'll adjust. If they continue, their behavior reveals a deeper disregard for your feelings, signaling that the relationship may need to be reevaluated. Jokes targeting flaws can erode self-confidence over time, planting seeds of doubt about your abilities and worth. But Stoicism offers a shield against such attacks. By anchoring your self-esteem in internal values rather than external validation, you become less vulnerable to the opinions and actions of others. Their jokes may attempt to shake you, but your foundation remains unshaken. Have you encountered someone who frequently jokes about your flaws? How did you handle it, and what did you learn? Share your insights in the comments below. If you found value in this discussion, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps us continue exploring these Stoic lessons together. In conclusion, we've explored 7 subtle signs that someone may dislike you while hiding it behind a facade of friendliness. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step toward protecting your peace and cultivating genuine connections. Stay with us for a few final reflections on how to navigate these challenges with wisdom and grace. Life is too short to spend it surrounded by those who undermine or devalue you. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control: our reactions, our boundaries, and our choices. By recognizing the signs we've discussed, you empower yourself to make decisions that protect your well-being and foster healthier relationships. If this exploration has resonated with you, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced any of these signs in your own relationships? How did you respond, and what advice would you offer to others? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more Stoic insights, and share it with someone who might find it valuable. Thank you for joining us on this journey of self-awareness and growth. May your path be guided by wisdom, and may you find peace in the relationships that truly matter.